is now called to order. From the dinner table to the grocery store, most Americans take the safety of their food for granted. But what happens when that food is jeopardized? Recent outbreaks of Salmonella and E. coli have shown that, as much as we would like to believe otherwise, we cannot always assume the food our families are eating is safe. This past January, a Salmonella outbreak in peanut butter tainted a wide range of products, from crackers to candy bars. The epidemic killed 9 people, sickened hundreds, and kicked off one of the largest food recalls in U.S. history. The men and women on the front lines, getting products off the shelves and educating consumers about which foods are safe to eat, were small business owners. They did this not because they had to. After all, they weren't the ones who created the problem, but because they felt the responsibility towards their customers. But for all the good that these entrepreneurs did for customers, there is a very real economic side to this stepping in to do the right thing. Now that the Peanut Corporation of America has declared bankruptcy, small businesses are the ones left holding the bag. In today's hearing, we will examine the effects of a food safety crisis on entrepreneurs. More importantly, we will look for solutions moving forward. For small firms, managing a food safety crisis is an enormous financial burden. They not only have the responsibility of tracking down and destroying tainted products, but they often have to dispatch costly damage control campaigns. Whereas large firms can often afford to retain public relations firms, most entrepreneurs cannot. This can be especially damaging considering the stigma attached to tainted products. Even foods not directly affected have been stigmatized. In the case of the Salmonella outbreak, jarred peanut butter sales plummeted 22%. Peanut butter cookies also stayed on the shelves, with purchases down 14.6%. These drop-offs have been devastating for the broad range of small businesses that sell peanut butter products, from 7-Eleven franchises to boutique bakeries. Food safety crises are particularly hard on small businesses. Because many of these firms operate on tight profit margins, generally between 2 and 5%, large recalls can mean bankruptcy. This is especially true for small firms that cannot afford recall insurance. Even companies that do have these policies are struggling to recoup their costs. Many insurance providers are now refusing to fill peanut butter-related claims, arguing that they are the PCA's responsibility. Perhaps the most frustrating aspect of the Salmonella epidemic is the fact that it could have been avoided. To begin, the regulatory process is fragmented, with different foodstuffs falling under different agency jurisdictions. These divisions prevent authority from properly responding to outbreaks. On top of that, agencies like the FDA are often understaffed and overwhelmed. In response to the spotty inspection system, many large businesses have taken food safety into their own hands. In fact, some large firms have gone so far as to hire their own private inspectors. Yet this is not likely the best response to this issue. From the fields to the processing plant, to the grocery store to the dinner table, small businesses are an integral part of our food supply chain. But recent recalls have made us question the safety of our food. And they have not only jeopardized the health of our families, they have put an important part of the small business community at risk. I'd like to thank all of today's witnesses in advance for their testimony, and with that, yield to the ranking member for his opening.